Today we're going to talk about nailing your career fair, or nailing the job fair, not going, but making it your own and dominating. These are events that can enhance your career, help you to build your network, and they can reveal to you what the market's looking for people that are going the way you want to go. Now, there's two different types. You've got from college and you've got from early career. Skills are pretty much the same, but let's go ahead and go through what alternatives might be in front of you. From college, usually they're called the Fall Career and Internship Fair or the Spring Career and Internship Fair. Often there's one at the university level. And then also be careful because some colleges like the College of Business, the College of Engineering, College of Education could all have their own fairs that are kind of specialized to their students. So these are all pretty much fair game to you. Just go ahead and check availabilities and when they are, but be proactive about taking a look at all these. And then early workforce. You can attend your college's career fair as an alumni. I've never seen a college that doesn't let the alumni go. And there's also things that they refer to as job fairs, virtual job fairs, industry trade shows and conferences. Those are huge networking and hiring events. Meetups. These are all excellent networking events with companies that really need talent. The key to this is to learn again what the marketplace wants for somebody going in your direction, to find opportunity, build your network, and then differentiate yourself based upon that to be more available and more desirable to the marketplace. And the key thing for you, and we're going to dig into this deeper, is you want to move from the pile. Often there's a pile of resumes they have for people that have been coming into their booth to the pocket. Either maybe they put it in a short list in their pocket or they put it off to a different folder. You want to make that short list. Now think about it from the recruiter's standpoint. They're going to talk to tons of people that are going. There's probably hundreds of people going to this career fair on that given day. And they're going to probably get resumes from between 80 and 120 of them. Often there's 125, 150, 160 companies that are in attendance looking for talent. But they're only going to shortlist about 5. Now, for those 5 who make it to that cherished shortlist, they're probably all going to get phone interviews. And if the recruiter's good, probably 4 or maybe even 5 out of 5 will actually get offers from the company. So the key thing for you is to go ahead and get on that short list. Now, the recruiter really wants you to be successful. Hey, they've got hiring quotas. They've got needs. They probably got hiring managers that's breathing down their neck saying, find me someone like this, find me something like that. So they want you to be successful. And their job in a very real way is to look for a needle in the haystack. They have to look for people who have the right skills, experiences, and ambitions, candidates who are qualified, and candidates that want to work for them. So, I mean, they can find somebody that has all the skills, but for one reason or another doesn't want to engage with the company. That's of no use to them. You have people who are dying to go to work for this company, but they don't have the prerequisite skills. That's no use to them. So they're trying to put this together as the booth is going to go ahead and probably host 150 people going in and out. It's a hectic day for them. And all opportunities are different. So if you have to compare amongst these opportunities, how are you going to do that? I mean, it's like comparing apples and oranges. It's not easy to go ahead and do this comparison. So I've developed a tool for you called the Filter of 5, and it's in the pull downs. You can go ahead and get that tool all printed out for you. This will help you sort out among multiple opportunities. And then you want to run each of these opportunities through the filter itself, and you want to do it in the following order. The first thing you're going to look at is number 1, a growing, if not exploding market. So in today's market, things like healthcare, high tech, they're exploding. So you know over the course of your career, there's going to be lots of opportunity and lots of upward mobility. That's terrific. Number 2, you're going to want an environment where you can learn. When you leave college, you really don't know anything as far as making practical sense in the organization you're going to join. They're going to train you. You've proved that you've got good, malleable skills that they can go ahead and adjust and then try to get somebody to be successful in their organization. So some companies are better than others in providing said training. So it's really important that you're going to have someone mold you and shape you into the high potential, employee that you're destined to be. Number 3, you're going to want to look for resume panache. This is you have very little really on your resume as far as professional experience when you're getting started, but who you work for is pretty important. I cite this example sometimes in my lectures. Let's say you've got two consultants that I've got to choose between for a job opportunity, and they both, seem to be okay. One of them does change management in the manufacturing environment in Cleveland, Ohio for Ophi, Finocchi, and Jones. Recruiter looks at it and goes, Ophi, Finocchi, and Jones? Who's that? Oh, Mr. Finocchi, he wrote a book. Yeah, okay. Next one comes in. Hi, I do change management for manufacturing firms in Cleveland, Ohio. Great. Who are you with? Deloitte. Go to the front of the line. You haven't said anything yet, but we know Deloitte's one of the most prestigious consulting firms on the planet. So what happens is you're going to go ahead and be judged by, well, if they got into Deloitte, they must have been trained well. They must have been pretty good to get in. So resume panache is pretty important for you too as you're getting started. Number 4, you're going to want to have solid stepping stones. Jobs are 2 to 4 year career stepping stones. So you want to go ahead and ask this question. If I nail this opportunity, let's say it's 3 years in, I accepted this and I nail it, then what's available to you then that's not available to you now? And if you run that by all of your career choices, that will help you sort things out. And finally, number 5, you want an environment where you can earn, because life's expensive. It costs money. Now, as you approach the career fair, the job fair, there's really 3 innings to the ball game. 1, pre-career fair preparation. 2, the day of the event. And 3, post-career fair follow-up. Let's dig through and see how we can go ahead and put you in a position to really own the event. Pre-career fair preparation. I want you to budget 8 hours. I want you to start at least 2 weeks before the career fair so you can do this stuff that I'm going to talk to you about, but boy, will it make a big difference on the day. You go ahead and load the companies that are going to prepare, and usually the Career Center or who's ever sponsoring a job fair will go ahead and have that stuff on the web. You put it into Job Search Radar. You're going to note interesting roles, people you're interested in. You're going to perform some due diligence, otherwise known as research. Now, there's some shortcuts here, because if you've got like 100 plus companies that you're going to, go through, you want to be able to do that expeditiously. So if you go to LinkedIn and you type in the company's name, a company profile will come up that's written by the company. It says, this is who we are. So you go through that information and that'll be revealing. You want more? You go to Google News. When you're on Google News, you go ahead and type in the organization's name, and it will go ahead and show you stuff that's been in the press recently about that organization. That's really going to start to go ahead and brief you on a lot of things. And then there's also your network. Your network is going to go ahead and maybe yield results. Somebody used to work there or had a colleague that worked there, and you can do that by some searches on LinkedIn. So when you do that research, it has to yield 3 things. You got to have this to be prepared. You want to note, and there's a place for it in Job Search Radar, so add it, what the company does. Number 2, why you're interested potentially in the organization. And 3, you want to develop a couple of great questions. And by the way, if you do number 1 and number 2, you'll end up with those great questions and put them down. The last thing you want to do, please, the last thing you want to do is arrive at a booth, look at the recruiter and say, so what do you guys do? I'm the recruiter. I'm going, what do I do? I'm the guy that got up early this morning. I drove here, or I flew here. What do I do? What do you do? You can't even use Google and figure out who I am? Starting off on a bad foot. Your preparation will make you stand out, because most people don't. They don't prepare at all, or they don't prepare enough. Now, as you go through this, you need to note the top 3 to 5 companies you're interested in. So if you could go to the event and only talk to 3 to 5 companies, who would they be? That's on your short list. And then you want your secondary 3 to 5. Okay, on those, you'll probably dig a little deeper. You're also going to go ahead and plan your attire for the day. Now, that's going to be, appropriate to the job you're seeking. If you're, at a blue-collar event and you're, let's say, a welder, your dress is going to be different than if you're going to go to work for an insurance company. It has to be appropriate for the role you're seeking. And remember what your mother told you. It's always better to overdress than to underdress. If you're wearing, let's say, a suit to the event, get it cleaned. get the shirt pressed, shine your shoes. You want to look the part. And when you start to look the part and you're kind of set up special, maybe dressing a little nicer than you do on a day-to-day basis, you start to feel good. And that's going to go ahead and reflect and show. Now, for the day of the career fair, I want you to come alone. This is not a team sport. I can't tell you how many people go around through this with their friends, and it's nonsense. This is about you. This is about focus. Your friends aren't going to prepare the way you did, and you don't need anyone shadowing you during the event. You want to show up early. You want to print out Job Search Radar, and this is going to serve as your guide. So you're reviewing your notes, and you want to bring your business cards. Remember, the business cards are bait. You hand out your contact information, and it's much easier to get contact information, and that's going to help on the follow-up, and it's going to be vital to you. Also, to differentiate yourself, because a lot of people don't have business cards, but you're going to. And I want your name on it. I want your good email address, not your college email address. And I also want you to go ahead and put your cell number, because this is just the way you're going to go ahead and make sure you get more information to follow up and going down the road. A good set of business cards is probably $30 for 500 in color. Doesn't have to be elaborate, but you want to go ahead and do that. Essential for working a career fair. Then you're going to keep reviewing your notes so it's fresh in your head. And you know what you want. We go in, they start to ask, well, are you looking for an internship? Are you looking for a job? Are you willing to relocate? When are you available? This stuff ought to be on the top of your head and you're not babbling for answers. You start off with engaging your top 3 to 5. And the nice thing about coming early, usually people don't show up right, when the event starts or slightly before the event starts, so you can get easily into the recruiters while they're fresh. Then you're going to go to your second 3 to 5. After you go ahead and engage with the recruiter, you're going to go ahead and leave and get out of sight. You're going to jot down your notes immediately while it's fresh in your head. This is the context you'll have for the follow-up that's about to happen. The follow-up is nearly as important as the interaction with the recruiter itself. Okay, now you go and you re-engage and go see another opportunity, and you're starting to work through your priority list. You want to stay organized. When you talk to a lot of companies, it's easy for you to forget, mix them up, drop a next action or a suggestion someone gave you. So you want to use Job Search Radar to put this information in, and you want to go ahead and stay organized. And you want to update all of this right after the career fair. Then there's post-career fair follow-up, number 3. It would be wise for you to block some time in your calendar. So right after the career fair, you go to your workspace and you start to do your Job Search Radar. You might have had some written notes in the copy you brought with you. You memorialize that, you type that in, and then you do your tie-down emails within 12 hours with context. So it goes something like this. I'll tell you where it won't go. It won't go, it was really great meeting you. I hope you let me know if you have a good opportunity. No! It was more like this. It was great meeting you. As I told you, I was impressed with your organization because you'd had that from your research. You said that when you walked into their booth. But when you shared with me this about the company, or that about the company, now I'm even more interested. I look forward to following up, and that can easily move you to the short list. Think of it from the recruiter's perspective. The recruiter goes home that night or goes to another hotel to work another career fair, and they check their emails. There's your follow-up. But only a few people followed up, and yours was strong with context, and you're looking really good. Now, most people don't do this, but you did. So you know what happens? You stand out. That can move you from the pile to the pocket. The objective is, remember, get into that short list. You want to do this from your Mac or your PC, not your smartphone. With that damn autocorrect, it's easy for you to look, even if you're good with the written word, to look foolish. If you struggle with grammar and writing, then go ahead and line up a friend and say, would you review this stuff before I send it off? But get that out within 12 hours. And then you want to close for next actions. You said you were going to be back on campus on this date. You said you'd be traveling for 2 weeks, and then you wanted people to follow up. If I don't hear from you in advance on the 13th, I'll go ahead and give you a call, whatever it is. And then you're going to memorialize this information. You've got their contact information now. If they didn't give you a card, once you give them your card, you're free to ask, can I get some contact information so I can follow up? You put that information into your repository. If you don't have that set up, go back to the networking session and please review that. Add your emails to your notes. You know why that's important? So let's say you're using Microsoft Office and using the product called Outlook. And that's where all of your contacts, your email, and your calendar is. That's the lens in which you see the world. You go ahead and you take this email that you sent to tie down and you go ahead and put it in the notes section. And that is so important because let's say in 3 years you get laid off from an organization and you're going, oh my gosh, who am I going to call? And you've got a list of recruiters. Maybe, over the course of your whole college career, or, if you worked at a job fair, you might know 8 or 10 recruiters. These people don't just look at people for their first job. They're looking for early stage talent. And all of a sudden you call up and say, listen, we talked, when you were working the career fair at my college, and then I'm doing a job search now, wanted to follow up. And they say, what have you been doing in this time? And you start to explain it. And now immediately you fire up more opportunity. So you could easily go when you went through and from the job search section, you went through A through Z on your LinkedIn or A through Z on your Outlook. And you go, who is that person? How do I know them? Well, in Outlook, it'll go ahead and show you that email and you go, oh, I remember now. And then when you follow up, it won't be a cold call. It'll be, they know they've met you and you jog their memory. You're going to forget a lot of stuff. And that's why it's important to put it on job search radar. You got more on your plate than you can deal with. Now, as you shortlist, you're going to continue your due diligence. So I would ask you to employ Google Alerts. If you don't know what they are, go to YouTube and try to learn more. And they'll tell you how to do it on YouTube. What you're going to do is you're going to set an alert. And anytime that company is in the news, it's going to get sent to you. Maybe you can go ahead and set it for competitors as well. You can set it maybe for industry analysts. And all of a sudden, this information starts coming to your inbox, and you start to stay very, very informed of where you may be about to go. Now, you can't do a lot of these because you'll be getting too much stuff thrown at you. But as you start to shortlist and you have your very best opportunities, you go ahead and put them on Google Alerts, and then you're really, really, really informed. And this is going to help because you're going to want to stay in touch without becoming a pain in the backside. And what happens is, a great way to follow up, you say, listen, I just saw the superintendent is announced that they're going to go ahead and build a new high school. This is really exciting. Or could be, I see the hospital doing a new regional location. This is really exciting. I see that the company just bought this other company. Oh boy, that looks like exciting opportunity. You have a good way of staying in touch and they're going, wow, that person's professional. That will move you up the list. Know this, skills rise with activity. And confidence rises with your preparation. And confidence, it shows. So what's the byproduct of the career fair other than an offer? Well, brand management. What's the 3 to 5 adjectives that employers are seeking? And make sure you fortify your skills that you look very, very good to where the companies are going. The recruiter's input will help you with this. But you have to talk to more than one. Because you don't want to be jaded by one person's opinion. You got a blended opinion and you say, wow, if I was make some adjustments, I was to make this better or that better, boy, I would be more appealing in the marketplace. That's incredibly important reconnaissance. And then network enhancement. You've got contacts, you've got tie downs, and that's enough information, as we mentioned before, if you're going to do a search later, that will really help you out in a big way. And then you also get to exercise your search skills, doing research, doing your elevator pitch, doing live dialogue, following up, and more. It's one thing to do your elevator pitch in front of a mirror, but to do it in front of 8, 10, 12 recruiters, now you start to really get great. You make sure you polish your collaterals. You might say, geez, I wish that looked a little bit better. Okay, then make it better for the next time. And then the management of the search process itself, and given the number of jobs you're probably going to have over the arc of your career, that's really, really important. Critical skills for the new economy. And obviously, this can also lead to internships and jobs. a decent job search radar, because it's certainly going to be enhanced after this fair, because this is going to be a starting point for your next job search, because you're going to have recruiters on there and different people that you can go to and leverage to go ahead and move forward. And it's important for you to keep that as a really powerful document. You'll do great. Most candidates don't even come close to doing this level of preparation. And when you do, you can perform at a much better level. And again, the more you prepare, the more confident you'll be. And you know what? Confidence shows. Good luck. You're going to nail this. You're going to do great. Make it your own. Own it. Good stuff.